Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am so pleased to be here with my guest today, Deb Geotz, who is a transformational healer and a medical intuitive who works with the ascended beings in her healing practices. And her goal is to awaken all of these abilities within us, to reawaken, actually. Let's welcome Deb Geotz to Quantum Conversations. Deb, thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Loren. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to be here today with you and your audience. Thanks.
This is exciting. I'm sure that everyone is feeling the great shift that is underway. And we're here to talk about miracle working tools that we can use. They're fifth dimensional tools, actually, or they're consciousness tools. Can you share with us what's happening on the planet? What is this shift all about?
Good question. This shift, of course, has been happening. The human race has always been evolving, right? Spiritually and physically. So we're in one of those prime times right now, especially since the harmonic convergence in the late 1980s, where the planet, our souls, we are being there's so many energies flooding into the earth right now and into our bodies that not only is the earth ascending, but we're ascending. And so what does that even mean? It's waking up to, again, to the truth of who we really are, because for so long we've forgotten. There's been like a shroud over our eyes, and now those veils are being peeled away so we can see and know and feel our own divinity.
Yes, feeling and seeing it is beautiful. And so you are here to assist people into remembering this multidimensionality. Can you share your own personal story of awakening to this moment and what led you into this work as an intuitive healer?
Sure. I love to tell my story. Well, even from the time I was very, very young, I was always a seeker, Loren. I always was searching for God and who I was in relation to that. And so I studied many different religions, trying to find my way and trying to find the God that felt correct to me. And so with all that seeking, I had not a real vibrant awakening, like some people experience an instant awakening, but mine was very, very gradual. So I started being very interested in healing modalities. And so I asked, and it was a little bit before that, I was reading an ancient text one day, and in that text, one of the masters said, "The things that we do, shall you also do?" And I said, "That's me, that's what I want. I want to love people like you do, and I want to heal people like you do." So I started doing Reiki in the early 90s, and during my very, very first session with a client, so I had taken my attunements, and then I would put my little business card out in bookstores, and people would call me, and they would come to my home, and I would do Reiki for them. And so during my very, very first session, I had a client laying on the table, and the lights were dim, and the music was playing, and I was just doing the Reiki, and we were about halfway into it, and all of a sudden I felt this push to tell her something about her husband. And I saw a capital T in my mind's eye. And I thought, well, I'm not going to say anything to her. I don't even know her, and you don't talk during Reiki, you know. So it got so, the pressure to talk to her about this was so grand. It was like pushing out of my chest wall. So finally I said, "Okay, are you married?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, does your husband's name begin with a T?" And she said, "No." But this was like 10, 15 years ago, and she proceeded to tell me this story about her husband, Tom. They were married, and one night they had a big blowout fight. And he left in the car to go cool down, and he got killed in a car accident. So this was Tom coming through to her to tell her, honey, everything's okay. There's no need for forgiveness. I love you. I'm in a beautiful place. And she's crying and I'm crying. It was so cathartic. And so the mediumship came through during that very first session when I didn't even know what a medium was.
That is fascinating. Yes. Just the awareness of that and you surrendering to say, okay, are you married? That was a beautiful way to approach it. So it led you into an awareness of these guides who are working with you or the person who came through you. So does this, in your journey then as a medium here, maybe it's a medical medium, or as a medium, do other higher beings come through you as well?
Always, always.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
We've learned.
it was cool, of course, way back in the early 90s. That was quite a shock for me to have, spoken through, have someone speak through me to another person. And so I started investigating that even more. And then long story short, coming up to 2014 is when I really got the medical intuition. When one night I was home alone reading a book and I felt this really strong impulse. And I had started working with the Great White Brotherhood of Light too before that. And I had been, like I said, reading the book, and I said, I've just felt this strong impulse to pray for this friend who was out of town. So I put down my book and I started praying for their safety. And then all of a sudden I was shown in my mind's eye 3 vertebrae in the middle of their back with a bulging disc. So I thought, I guess I'll just put it back into place. And all of a sudden, over in the corner, we had vaulted ceilings. This 10-foot golden angel came slowly to me, and she embodied me. And together, we fixed my friend's spine. And today, their spine is perfectly healthy.
Wow. Those stories are just undeniable, aren't they? They're confirmation for you. How beautiful. What do you do? I just love, first of all, I have to say that I love that Reiki is what led you into this expansion. We've heard that from so many Reiki. It really is a portal to the higher beings who work with the energy work. And so we know that people in energy sessions have beings come through. And so, what is your sense of how we can work with them or how you work with them then? Do you call on beings or you just are aware to who presents, how it presents?
Well, both. I am just aware of how it presents, but I do in the beginning of every session, I do a formal calling in of the guides. And sometimes I'll be saying, so I'm calling in the Great White Brotherhood of Light, Jesus, Saint Germain. And all of a sudden, Peter will pop in. It's like, okay, Apostle Peter's here today. And then we find out later in the session that there was a connection between Apostle Peter and the client. So I never know. And that's how Master So Wong Tzu came in, the quantum acupuncturist that joined me this past year. Yeah, I was calling in the guides, and I always feel them as a group. I can feel their energy here on my left. And out of that, and I see them kind of as a shadowy group. And I saw this little, in my mind's eye, this little ancient Chinese man coming out of the crowd. And he started doing acupuncture on my client.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then it was a couple of days where I asked him his name because I couldn't get his name during the session. There was so much going on with him coming and doing the acupuncture that in a meditation a couple of days later, I asked him what his name was and he spelled it out for me, told me how to pronounce it. So yeah, I'm just always am open to whatever wants to occur and whomever wants to lead and guide. I always tell the guides, and you ask the question, how can others be open to receiving these as well? My course that we'll talk about later has some module in it all about that. But I always told the guides, my divinity, that take me to the next level, whatever that looks like for me. And I think it's such a simple prayer and intention, because if we really do just remain open, put one foot in front of the other, don't have any concept of what you want it to look like, because it'll never be that. That's how I have done my spiritual walk. It's like, whatever you have for me, show me, bring it to me. And I'm also, Master So Wang Su also showed me that I carried his energy in the Ming Dynasty. So I've done quantum acupuncture before, and I'm bringing in a lot of these modalities like Galactic Chiropractic, because I've done all of this before in other
Yes.
dimensions, timelines, as different beings.
Yes, fascinating. And you know that about yourself now. What is his name again?
So SOH,
Okay.
and then the middle is Wang, WANG, and Su, TSU.
Fascinating. Okay, very fascinating. Well, I love that. And I know that others are saying, take me to the next level as well. We can do this in all areas of our life. We can do it to stay anchored as we go through this great shift right here. All right, well, we're going to talk about ways people can use miracle working tools for self healing. And this will go into our multidimensionality and this quantum acupuncture, galactic chiropractic care that you like to call it as well. These are your gifts that you've worked on. As you remembered your other skills, was this a remembering of a past life, or did your guides reveal that to you?
Let me think. Well, So Wang Su definitely told me that I carried his energy in the Ming Dynasty. So I knew that I was a being physically on this earth. Other things they show me that they're galactic. A lot of the tools that come through during sessions are galactic technology, which is wonderful and beautiful. But what was the other part of your question?
Well, let's just say these are higher dimensional beings and they're coming through. It's a higher frequency and it's technology. I love that.
Yeah.
So let's say when you look at this technology and your use of it with your clients, what are you finding about its quantumness or its multidimensionality? Certainly, this must show you how energy works or how energy systems work or how emotions are stuck in the body. What are some of the causes of people's pain and issues that you've helped overcome?
Good question, because there's many, 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 as you can imagine. Well, the way that the guides work through me is what they call the miracle working molecule. And we are talking about the miracle working techniques and things like that today. So the miracle working molecule is no big secret. It's compassion. So it's always compassion that's coming through during these sessions. And I get to experience that every day. And sometimes the room is just flooded and crowded with these beautiful beings and the angels, right? But the reason that they have me work so much through compassion is because, to answer your question, the cause of so much of what's going on within inside of us in the physicality has a lot to do with our emotional bodies. You know, we carry pain. We carry all of our ancestral pain and stuff. But the really cool thing that they showed me about bringing through and how we bring through our ancestral things, issues, is because we were courageous beings of light before we came here. And we saw what was going on in our bloodline, in our spirit family, soul family. And they show clients over and over again, you were that courageous one that said, I see what's going on and I'm going down there again. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I'm going down there in another lifetime to draw the line in the sand and end this now. So I'm seeing diabetes. I'm seeing traumatic experiences. I'm seeing financial difficulties lift, because this is all that came through from their ancestral line, but we just were able to clear it through compassion and rewriting the story. And the messages that the guides give are just so loving. Like, one thing that they'll tell them is, what happened in the past does not equal the present or the future. And now in this moment, there's nothing but safety. So there's another aspect of to answer your question of, what is so much of this cause? Bottom line, it's fear. We don't feel safe. Right? So what's the opposite of that? The miracle working molecule, love, compassion. And we might talk later about the AAL technique as well, because that's something that anybody can do. And AAL stands for what we want most for ourselves, our body also wants. And that's acceptance, acknowledgement, and love.
Powerful. Those 3 words. So tell us how you use this AAL technique. Go more into that.
Right. Thank you. So the AAL technique came probably 2-3 years ago in my work, when all of this compassion really started working through me, the divine. And I'll explain to you how it first happened in that session. They'll actually, here's the amygdala, the fight, flight, freeze part of our brain is near the brainstem. And so the guys will actually put their hand on the brainstem, because we want to get to that fear, right? We want to get to that feeling of not being safe. And we also speak to the body then, and the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind, as we know, resides within the cells of the body. So what they basically say is, like before, what occurred in the past doesn't equal the present and the future. And in this moment, there's safety. You're guided, guarded, loved, and cherished. And when our eyes gaze upon you, all we see is your innocence and your beauty. Yeah. So then they'll often show me where something is lying within the body, but anybody can do that. They can place their hand over their heart, or where, if they have emotional pain, and say, I see you, I get it. I feel you, and I completely understand that it's all going to be okay. You're safe here now. It's safe to breathe. It's safe to just be. It's safe to express myself as myself, whatever that looks like for me. There's safety here. And the guides usually say, and we got this, they're right here with us. And just because we can't see them or feel them doesn't mean to say we're alone in this. We're not. Okay?
Yes, very comforting and beautiful how we're doing this and we may not even know it, right? When we just, or hug ourselves. We can do this. Beautiful. Thank you so much. We can just feel the words of that and how it helps us be very present and very calm. And I just want to share as well that, when we started, technology could get in the way and cause us to get all razzled. But just right here with that, it's okay. We're fine. It's beautiful. And this is really, once we get this in our own lives down pat really well, we can share it with others as well. So let's talk about New Earth. You're here to usher in New Earth and to assist in that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any comments about what that looks like to you?
Sure, because I've been in the energy of it.
Yes, so you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Share more on the energy of it, because before, would you say that certain places, like this photo behind me, there's just certain places that, you know, are more beautiful than your camera can take a photo, right? And so is that what we're talking about here? Are we starting to see it on planet Earth in certain areas? But you're feeling it.
Yeah, it's well, the Earth is certainly struggling right now to get there, right? But that's what it's almost like we're going through that birth canal, and we've done this many times before on this Earth, going through that birth canal, birthing ourselves, the divinity that we are. The planet's also doing the same. the energy of the new earth is where we came here to bring it because we know it from other lifetimes, other dimensions.
Planets.
Yes. And I was going to say that. Yes.
You can
Other
say that here, yes.
in the galaxy, right. So years ago in a meditation, I was actually taken way up. My consciousness went up and up. It seemed like forever. And then all of a sudden I stopped because I went through planets and stars and light and went up and through into this darkness, this stillness. And I turned to the left and I saw myself as myself on another planet. My name is Alanya there. She gave me a tour. And meeting her, I almost started crying because the love on the other planets where we come from is so beautiful. We know this. We got this. We know this on a really deep level. And that's, again, what the ascension and the awakening is all about. Because the energy of this new earth that we're in, it's not really a new earth. We're just trying to get it in sync with all this, I don't know if there's going to be any big cataclysmic happening or not. I don't know the future. But this is that feeling that we're trying to bring here, where Alanya showed me as we walked around, I could feel her heart, and everyone else on that planet, their hearts truly were one. And everything they do, everything they do, all their actions, their words, are all working for, through, and as that one heart. And so it's not a planet of duality either. So there's just this love and harmony, and it's a beautiful place to be. I go there often.
Oh, we are here to bring it. That is so beautiful. We know it. And hearts truly as one. Hearts working truly as one, this understanding. I know that we're getting there. In the collective right now, it looks like, and I've heard others mention of like the singularity, that we're going to be, that there's, I don't know if it's going to be anything, but maybe would you say it would be a surrender to love? Wouldn't it be, this is what I hope for, no apocalypse, but just people putting their arms up, no longer tolerating speaking ill of people, no longer blaming, right? So that's my vision anyway of New Earth. And as we all get there, I've seen New Earth as well. And it's so, people are, it was wildly, I had to laugh because people were so creative and independent and yet respectful as well. So this heart-centeredness is the path.
Definitely. And I love your vision. I love what you have to say about that, because I hope we don't have to get to the point where we say, I'm so sick of this. There's got to be a better way. But that's what many, many of us are going through now, to give up our ideas and our paradigms. But that's why I do the work that I do, to bring through this healing and allow people to see who they truly are. The words that come through every single session is the reminder to the clients that they're multidimensional beings of light having a human experience. And it's not always easy. It's not always fun. But we're here. We're on our way. We're doing it. If we're aware and alert and open. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Let me ask you how, if people would like to ask you a question, what's the best way for them to ask you? Because you might get all kinds of questions, but I have our Zoom audience with some hands raised. And so we can bring Arietta, I'm going to bring you over in as a panelist. And then Serafina, I will bring you in, and we will allow you to unmute your microphone when we get there. If you want to show your video, you are welcome to do that too. You can join our Zoom audience for all of our shows at acoustichealth.com. So let's see. What is the best way for people to ask questions of you? How can you work with them in today's show?
Sure, and I'd love to. This is one of my favorite parts of doing shows, is to take callers from your audience. If someone would just give me like one symptom, maybe 2 symptoms, not a diagnosis from a doctor, but a symptom that they're having or a question, that would be perfectly fine. And then Loren, would you like me to actually walk the group through an actual healing then, a process for each? Or just
Yes.
identify what their malady is?
You know what? Let's take a few callers and then let's do a group healing. That would be
Oh,
beautiful.
okay.
So we're gonna, Arietta, hello, you are unmuted. You can ask a question. Serafina, you too, you can ask a question. Hi,
Hi, ladies.
Hi,
how are you?
Serafina.
Thank you so much for being here today. It's
Thank you. Thank you for
get
calling
one
in.
question. Thank you.
Yeah.
One question for beautiful Deb.
okay. So, a pretty new thing that's happening medically is psoriasis on the bottom of my feet, which I've never had before. And I've tried all kinds of things, but it's really interfering with actually like my ability to walk and to hike. And usually pretty healthy. So I'm feeling like it's got a bigger energy field, something attached to it. If you could help.
Sure. Yeah, and first of all, I'm sorry to hear that. It's got to be quite uncomfortable for you. So, are you sure that it's psoriasis?
Well, eczema or psoriasis, um, the dermatologist wasn't exactly sure. So,
Okay. Well, that comes through our lymph system, our immune system is what's causing that. So let me see what they want to do. I don't really have a different name for it, but they are showing it to me coming from the soles of the feet. And so what they want to do really quickly for you and anybody else who may have a skin condition is they're giving you a salve and they're putting that up inside the dermis. Up at the inside layer of the skin so that'll heal from the inside out. Let me see if there's anything else they want to tell you. It's all going to be okay. Oh, soak your feet in Epsom salts.
okay. I was going to have an ion detox foot bath tomorrow, and I don't know if it's a good idea to pull out a bunch of toxins through the bottom of my feet that way, or if there's any opinion on that.
Now they would hold off on that. You just try the Epsom salt for 5 to 7 days.
5 to 7 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Much
Good. All right. Well, thank you. Let's Arietta, I think if you unmute, maybe. Otherwise, we're going to Elizabeth, and then we'll do a group healing. Elizabeth, hi, you can unmute. Okay. Well, we will pivot here.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hello?
There you are, Elizabeth. Hi.
Hi.
You have a question for Deb.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello. Hi. Nice to talk to you. Okay, so I have a few things, but I have to ask you one. I do not take too much time. I experience a lot of pressure in the back of my head for a long, long time. It's so uncomfortable that I have hard time to lay on my head during the night. I keep waking up with unbelievable pressure, pain. I don't know how to describe it.
I can feel it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay. There's a couple of things.
If this is physical, if this is some energy stuff, I don't know. Yeah.
It's both. It's both. Yeah, I can feel it before you even started talking about it. Could feel that pressure back there. It's got a couple different issues involved here. One of them has been an injury, and so the plates in the skull are not properly aligning. We have plates and sutures in our skull, and those need to be opened and pulled and put back into place. But the other thing right there, as soon as you said that, the pressure in the back of the head, they showed me right away, there's like an upgrade for you, a spiritual upgrade, more of an opening. And there's a little bit of a stuck resistance there. So I can, they're going to do a little, they're going to lighten it up a little bit. They're working like a corkscrew, pulling that pressure out just to alleviate that a little bit. You might want to do some meditations and ask what that means for you, what that looks like for you to be more open, because we have a portal that goes from our solar plexus through our heart, through our higher heart, throat, up through the brainstem and through the pineal gland and the crown. That's what's trying to open, and there's just a little bit of a resistance there.
I was told that someone tried to communicate with me. Is that true?
Someone tried to what? Communicate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your portal. Yeah.
The energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So during the meditation, that's only one way that I can ask to open it.
Well, it would take a session as well, and I'd be happy to help you with that. But yeah, what you really need to do is go really deep inside the heart, find out where the resistances may be, and then release those as well. Because there's a lot of old religious stuff in your life stream of having been a martyr or victim. This isn't right to do this. I'll be hung or boiled in oil or something. So there's that's the type of religious resistance that's going on back here, honey.
It's so quick. Is my third eye open or closed?
It's doing pretty good. You're about halfway.
Oh,
If they were to measure, they don't want to label things like that and make you feel bad, because it can change in different moods, different times of your life. So
appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Grateful.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Elizabeth. All right. Well, I just have to say, you're amazing, Deb. You are amazing. Are you just surrounded by guides? I mean, how do you're open, and you're a clear and clean and open channel.
Thank you for saying that. I just love doing this work. And like I said before, I'm just always asking to take me to the next level, whatever that looks like for me. And I so want the Ascended Masters, this great white brotherhood, to really work through me for other people. So it was really my intention and my life stream that I signed up for. But thank you so much for your kind words. I love it.
In service. Yes, in service. So you have the gifts. When you work with your guides, you've been given these gifts. And let's do a group session now. And for those who are on our Zoom audience, and we know outside of time and space, those who will watch the recording, they can tap into this as well. So what would you like to do today for us in that group healing?
Ooh, the guides are saying short Galactic Chiropractic, because I was gonna ask you, I was gonna give you choices, and they're saying, nope, we're doing Galactic Chiropractic.
Oh, good. I think we can all use that. All right.
Yeah, so basically what this is, it's the first modality that I was given back in 2014 of working with the skeletal system. So many of us have tightness in our lower back, our sacrums are off, or one leg is longer than the other, right? But it's really 99.9% of the time, it's not the bone that's longer or shorter than the other leg. It's the hips that are off that make the legs seem as though one is longer than the other. So we're not going to do the entire skeletal system. I don't know if we're going to get down to the feet or not, but we're definitely going to work on that spine right now. And so we call on the guides, the Great White Brotherhood of Light, including Jesus, Buddha, Saint Germain, Archangel Mary, Archangel Michael, Mother Mary, the Magdalene, Peter, Kuan Yin, and we call upon the beautiful seraphim angels and the archangels to give us the most pertinent and accurate information and tools to bring complete miraculous and spontaneous healing to their bodies, minds, and spirits. Beautiful. So they're actually starting with and I feel a lot of things in my body where they want me to go. So that's why I squirm a little bit, because the pressure that they put in my body is quite strong sometimes. But they're starting with a heating pad, putting it along that whole lower back, the sacrum, up into the thoracic spine, and wrapping that around the side of the body. And then also one up at the shoulders, up into the neck. So the woman that called in before with that pressure in the back of her head, her and anybody else, can just relax and allow this heat to go deep into those muscles. And just let all the energy drain down the spine. They're showing me a ball of liquid golden light that they're placing now. They're actually starting it at the crown. And this ball of liquid golden light is actually infused with all the healing energies and the love and compassion of all of these beings of light. And that's coming down now through the skull, down into that back of the head. And then running down that spine, allowing to just relax, to give away. There we go. All the stress from the day, all the pressure that people have been feeling in their spine is being lifted and melted and swooped away right now. All the way out. Beautiful. All the way out the tailbone, down through the feet, out the soles of the feet. And now they're going to create a little bit of traction in that lower back because there's so much compression there. And this is going to create breathing space between the discs and vertebrae. There's a bulging disc. We're going to take care of that right now. And the sacrum is really off. So we're going to gently rotate the hips back and forth and up and down. Getting that all to loosen up. This is releasing a lot from quite a few of you. So I felt the energy just give way. There, we're actually going to look at those sacroiliac joints and clear those. Do a really good adjustment on that sacrum. Poof, spread those hips apart. Some breathing room. And putting that back. And we're just going to really quickly check the alignment of the entire spine. Somebody has scoliosis between the shoulders. We're going to straighten that out. And what they're doing is winding this energy around it, but in the same time, it's moving, realigning. There we go. That's straight. Good. A little bit more traction all the way up to the skull. Going underneath those shoulder blades and releasing all the stress of the body all the way up to those shoulder muscles. Just let it all go. Good, 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 good. Now we're going to rotate the shoulders back and forth, up and down, and cradle the skull in the palms of my hands. Gently pull up on the base of that skull. Feels so good to let all those tiny muscles and large muscles just release and let go. One final movement, we're going to adjust the skull. Oftentimes we don't know it, Loren, but sometimes that skull can be off the atlas bone a little bit. We don't know it. So right now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it back on straight. Beautiful. There we go. Pulling down those shoulders, stretching out that neck. Some of you may feel warmth and tingling. You don't have to feel anything in order for it to work. And again, the reminder from the divine that you are a beautiful, multidimensional being of light, having a human experience. We honor you for your choice to be here yet again in this lifetime, to do it, to take it on. But you're not alone. You've done nothing wrong. We gaze upon you. What we see is your innocence and your purity. We're here with you. You're never alone. There you go. Always connected. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I just saw a white ball of light come down into the hearts. Softening, purifying. Here we go. Whew. Easing burdens. Oh, wow. There's so much being released right now from people's hearts. I have chills running up and down my whole body. So much relieving the pain, the sorrow, honeys. It's all okay. Guilt, shame. You've done nothing wrong. Let it go. So beautiful. There we go. There's safety here now. Famine, all this ancestral stuff that we're carrying in our hearts right now. The famine, the torture, the poverty, the sorrow, the loss, the wars, the degradation, the oppression, depression, loss of love, betrayal, all of that being lifted now. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to close everybody up with a big, beautiful infinity sign from below their feet, up across the body, and above the head, sealing in all the truth that was spoken here and the light that was provided. And again, honoring you for the beautiful gift that you are to the planet.
Ooh, thank you so much for that. My feet are buzzing. Yes. What do you experience like when we watch you and we felt that? I mean, I definitely felt that. Again, it's different for everyone. When are you seeing it? Are you feeling it, sensing it, or all of it?
I'm not seeing it in the way that someone might think, like out here in front of me. I get flashes of pictures in my mind's eye of what to do. Though sometimes a word will go across, like ancestors just went across. And I'll see, I just started seeing that white ball of light coming into my vision. And then I'll feel where everything needs to go, like that spinal alignment that we just did. I saw like the scoliosis, and I'll get the word and the picture at the same time. So I heard scoliosis, but they also showed me an S curve in maybe more than one person's spine. So it's a knowing, and then I feel the energy of the things releasing, and that's the most beautiful part, is I get to feel those hearts just changing like they just did. It was so amazing. There's such peace now because of that beautiful gift that they gave us. So yeah, I see, know, feel, sense.
Beautiful. And the tools for opening the heart that we can use ourselves is really what you shared with us today. AAL.
Yes.
Yes. And any other tools for people to tap into this healing energy?
One of the main ones that the guys gave me just in the last 6 months or so, it's called sitting down inside. Because before our physicality can heal, we really need to be in that place where we do feel safe and we feel in our sovereignty, where we live as that higher dimensional being, right? So they call it something simple, sitting down inside. So this is the beginning of our spiritual opening, or opening more of our hearts, but also our physical bodies then following suit. Because before I start that, the guides have said that, we know that the subconscious mind lives within the cells of the body, and if we and the body are feeling frightened or not feeling safe, what are the cells going to do? They're going to tighten up. So when we can feel safe, our cells, or full of joy, that's another key word. When we have joy, our cells are going to feel joy, and they're going to work as they should, function, heal, reproduce, just as they should. So let's go back to the sitting down inside. It basically is, the guide showed me the metaphor. We did a lot of metaphors. The metaphor of a human being as a submarine with our periscope always up. We're always looking around, taking in information, right? We need to. excuse me, taking in information and also judging, are we safe? Are we not safe? It's still from our reptilian brain, right? Where we measure our safe opportunities for safety or danger. So they also show it to me as a unicorn with a horn that's up. And they're saying it's time to take off the unicorn. Time to pull down that periscope. And everybody can do it right now. You're going to pull down that periscope. Bring it down. Down into your chest wall. Kind of feel yourself sitting back. So your energy is kind of meeting your spine, just sitting down, almost like it was the back of a chair. And, bring that down as low as you want to, wherever feels like home to you. You can just feel how that shifted. Feel how your energy shifted. And now just breathe. This is a beautiful place then to do the Aal technique for yourself. I'm safe. The world's a beautiful place. And it's safe to just breathe. So in this place where we all are right now, this is that place of non-judgment, where we really, truly can just look out to the world and observe it without that judgment, without getting tangled up emotionally, wrapped up in what's going on. Instead, what we can now do and say, we observe what's going on in the world, we'll say, well, isn't that interesting that we chose to be in this place on the planet right now? And I chose to be a part of this. Isn't that curious? Right? So it's no longer that entwining ourselves emotionally and getting wrapped up in it. What does that do to our stress levels and to our body? Right? So sit down inside, pull down the periscope, and go there often. And with enough practice, Lorraine, I believe we're all going to be able to live there, live in that place.
Yes. Yes. I believe we're all going to live in that place. And if we surrender to it or throw our arms up in exhaustion to it, that's the place. Sometimes, we were just talking about this recently in one of our groups, depression can come in. And I'd like to ask you about depression. Light workers find sometimes don't even want to be on the planet anymore. Starseeds, they get overwhelmed. Do you have all these tools are great, but what would you say about depression and getting out of that feeling? It really is rekindling joy, but just your words.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a tough one for me because I don't want to leave the planet, but I can empathize with those who do. I know that I have so much work to do here that I'm staying. I'm staying for the long haul.
Yay.
But I've talked to many people. I know what you're saying. I talked to many people who don't want to be here. Earth isn't exactly what they expected because they know where they came from. They don't have that one heart. Earth doesn't present that yet. So life is really difficult for them and struggling. They struggle through it. And the key, what the guide is showing me right now is just hang on. Just hang on. You're going to get there. You're going to be okay. This too shall pass, because some of them haven't grown into their calling yet. There's inner growth happening, but once they can help themselves move through that through sessions or meditations or connecting with nature or doing what we just did, they'll feel it and they'll know it. But many of us are waiting still for that calling to come through. And many of them are healers and just don't know it yet.
Yes, just don't know it yet. All right. This is a journey back into our hearts and the remembrance of love. We have time for a few more questions from our Zoom audience. Before we get there, I want you to share more about your special offer that's available for everyone watching and listening. It is working with you. There's the Working Miracle Nights, and there's a course as well. Share with us about your special offer.
Sure, I'd love to. It's one of my favorite things to provide for people. The guide said they gave me this Miracle Working Molecule Month. We shortened it to the Miracle Working Month to offer clients an opportunity, and the guides were very specific on how to do this in which sequence. So the very first night, and by the way, these are 4 Tuesday evenings in October, and the first one will start with an energetic clearing. So we're going to start outside, heal outside in. So we're going to clear the entire auric field of distortions, attachments, whatever, and get you all nice and shiny for what's coming up next. But we'll also activate the pillar of light. Now, everyone has a pillar of light. We just don't, some just might not know it. It's actually a tube where that encases the chakras. And it's connected to the heavens and through our bodies down through the earth. So we activate that also in week 1. Week 2 is quantum acupuncture with Master So Wong Soo. He doesn't like me to call him Master, sorry. So Wong Soo. He's the one who brought in that acupuncture, as I told in the story earlier. But even more than that, in addition to putting in the needles, which stay in 5 to 8 hours or so, he also prepares an herbal infusion for everyone. So he pulls, he'll do this for the group, because this is a group healing session, of course. So he'll pull down herbs and put them in a mortar and pestle and crush them and steep them in hot water. And then he brings in this elixir, which it looks like sorghum or molasses. And it actually works on a very, very deep cellular level, all the way to the level of the DNA, revitalizing and fortifying all systems of the body. Then we move into week 3, which is the Galactic Chiropractic, which you just had a little taste of today, working with the entire skeletal system, okay, and muscular system. Then the final week is the digestive system. 70% or more of our health is in our gut. And so often we have yeast overgrowth or parasites or digestive issues that we can't figure out. And a lot of that will be caused by the emotional body, which is the emotional brain of the body, which is that solar plexus, being tied up in knots. I often see that. So we'll be able to clear all of that and get that gut fortified. They'll run 3 different fluids through it to cleanse, fortify, and strengthen, balance the pH and the biome of the gut. And then also the endocrine system is also in week 4. So by the end of that month, everybody will be squeaky clean and ready to take on the world.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. The special offer button is right here on this webpage. It's in the chat box on Zoom. And we're really excited for that. Those sessions are beautiful. We are so grateful for the mini session that you gave all of us today. It was really fun to see and feel that work. And I do see Arietta, she was able to unmute herself. I'm going to get to you in just a moment, girl. So just wait, just a moment, and a few others. I wanted to just say or ask you about, you shared some incredible stories of healing, but you must have so many stories of healings. And I mean, do you think that the Western medical world is starting to catch on to this, or are there cases where people they have a diagnosis, you work with them, they go to their doctor and they're healed, and the doctors are like, keep doing what you're doing?
Yes.
Do you have those stories?
I hear that quite frequently. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
One of them involved a cancerous tumor in the bowels. Yeah. So I had worked with a client and they told her how large it was. And so we did a session together, and the guides even said, don't be too quick to rush into surgery. Give your body some time to catch up. And it was very cathartic. A lot of emotions were clearing through that. And about 6-8 weeks later, she went for another checkup, and this tumor had shrunk in half.
Oh, that's great news. Okay, that's really great news. All right.
So I didn't tell you about the course yet. Did you want me to share a little bit about the course?
I was just going to ask you about that. Yes,
Okay.
That's exciting. It's a spiritual mastery for the New Earth video series. Tell us.
Yeah. So this is something that the guide said was pretty sorely needed in the past year or two. So I did create this 7-module course. And it gets into some of the really basic things that we don't often take a look at, like who is God? You know, just like I often wondered, who is God? Whoa, and what is where's my divinity? How do I connect with all of that? And we go into prayer. It's like, how do I get my prayers answered then with this divine force that I have aligned myself with now? And then there's the Temple of Illumination, which I take you through, take an audience through 7 spiritual gateways to open up the heart and get us more connected. And then the 4th one is self-healing mastery. It's one of my favorite ones. It's about an hour long. This video is because I had to do so much my own self-healing work. Yeah, so that's a really, really good one. Then we get introduced to the Ascended Masters and then to the Archangels. So the Archangels actually gave me channeled information on these power symbols to create for each one of the Archangels, the 7 Archangels plus the 8th Metatron. So we have these beautiful symbols that are light language encoded that will help others take on the attributes of those particular angels. And then the final week, we talk about the science and physiology of intuition. Some people feel like they really don't have intuition, but this module will all be about the proof that you do, that we're wired for it. It's a wonderful course.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Again, there are options for people to buy those individually or together. How very, very cool. I love the work that you do. You are divine. We're all divine. I'm so grateful that you've opened up to it and you've allowed it to come through. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
And
but yes, we all have this energy, this love, and we're all helping each other get there, right?
yes.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Absolutely. And you know, again, if it looks like things are chaotic out in the collective, return to these tools, return to the heart. Don't go into contest or conquest. Go into the love that you are and that we know we can bring. Okay, because we're going up.
Right.
Let's go to a caller. I'm going to unmute Arietta. Arietta, you can unmute yourself and you can ask a question. Go ahead now if you're available.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Arietta.
Hi, Arietta.
Oh, ladies, beautiful ladies. I love you so much. Let me express my admiration to you both. Thank you for your love and support.
Thank you so much. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you. Deborah is not only a beautiful lady, but I feel and I think that she is one of the most powerful healers here on this planet, and we are so grateful. Thank you, Deborah.
Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. It's very humbling to hear those words. Thank you.
Oh dear, and Lorraine is my favorite. I love Lorraine.
Wonderful. So how can we help you today, honey?
So it seems that I received a stroke, but I have been told that it is ripple effects of others' behavior. Just a little things among many other. I raised my voice 2 days ago from my balcony to a group of young people who every night create a lot of noise, playing music and more. And suddenly, I felt, I don't have the memory actually. I couldn't speak. My head became very tight. My 2 arteries from my neck, especially the left artery, I felt something, a rush like this, like that. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but for 40 hours, I couldn't speak, I couldn't find words. my head was heavy, the top and the back and the neck.
Okay, honey.
And
What is your specific question, honey?
is I need help, a support, a healing. Is any stroke or anything else?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So when you first said that you weren't able to speak, it was like there was an occurrence that threw you into like a past life where there was the terror of speaking up, being yourself. Maybe even during a war, there was so much oppression that your psyche kind of went back into that previous life, the energy of that previous life. Not that you would have felt it or seen it or known it cognitively, but that was just a reaction. So again, they're just going to clear that memory for you.
Thank
And
you.
was it a stroke? The brain kind of acted like that, but it doesn't feel like it's a threat of having anything else resulting from that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, honey. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Arietta.
Thank you so much from my heart, both of you.
Thank you, Arietta. Okay. We have time for one more caller. We're going to go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, try to unmute now and you can ask your question. We are with Deb Geotz, a medical intuitive and medium. Fascinating to watch. We're going to move on. Next time we're going to Debbie O'Connor. Debbie, hi, you're unmuted. Or you can unmute.
Debbie, wonderful to see you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even put my hand up. I love Deb. Thank you. Oh my goodness, this is such a coincidence. I was just listening to the show.
Wow.
Oh, Deb,
Somebody put
I
your
love
hand
Deb
up.
and I know her, and Lauren, love you too. But while I have you, Deb,
Yeah.
anything that you could, I am having some problems with a rash. So how about we do that? That's
All
just
right.
crazy. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Does it have little red bumps on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. So it's not flat like a psoriasis. It's got red bumps on it.
Right.
Let me see if I can get any information for you. First of all, did you touch anything? It feels like something irritated it from the outside rather than
Right. I think, yes, I think it possibly was a tick, but then I've been on medicine. So,
Okay. All right. So we're going to take that sting out of it because it feels like it was some sort of a bite where you might have even gotten the fluid under the skin. So we're going to clear that up and out for you really quick. Just pulling all that up. And then flushing it. They're going underneath the dermis, underneath all skin layers, and flushing from the inside out. Here we go. And then putting a salve. This salve is, I've never seen this before. It's special just for you, Debbie. It's like golden light, but it's a salve. And it's, wow, they're putting it underneath the dermis and on top. So it's sinking it in the sides. Okay. Sinking in from the bottom up and the top down. So give that a couple of days, but it shouldn't be of any more issue for you.
oh, wow. Thank you. That really felt, I could feel something. So thank you. Wow.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Debbie.
Lauren. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, all right. I think Deb is amazing and wonderful, and I hope you all are feeling your results from this group healing session today. Deb, I want to reveal that I did have this issue in my back, but I feel really good in that little area, and it was underneath my shoulder blades. So you totally nailed that today, and it feels wonderful.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Well, you are the epitome of where so many of us are going. We can see where we're going, and I can see the world offering these services and them becoming more mainstream. And, you know, medical doctors now getting curious about this and doing that themselves. And we already know so many nurses are speaking light language to their patients, and the patients are
love
being
it.
very calm. And so there's a lot going on towards this new way of being, this heart way of being. So I just want to thank you for your beautiful work as well, because you are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Lauren. That's like these words are just so humbling to me. I feel like the luckiest person in the world because I get to do this work and I get to see results. And also, any of you out there who did message to the audience, they're saying, any of you out there that even have the slightest inclination that you might be a healer, please come forth in your life and get some training or start working with them, because Loren, we need so many right now. Months ago, they showed me this lineup of an army of light workers, healers,
Oh,
but
yes.
there were too many empty spots waiting to be filled by the audience, by the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just me that can do this work. I don't know if everybody can. I think everybody can do some self-healing, but those who feel, like I said, the slightest inclination, they said, that they might be a healer, seek out some way to learn that, because it's time.
Absolutely. It is time. And my whole body lit up when you were saying that.
I could
And
tell.
God bumps everywhere. And, you know, if it's the healing, Deborah's course is a great way to start. I also love the month with you, the miracle, the miracle working month with you. What a great way to access healing sessions at a very affordable price. That's quite beautiful. And then, you know, for those who don't know what their calling is yet, that is what we do here at acoustichealth.com. We help people identify that passion, that joy, their service, using all their skills so that they can go forward and create this heart based service. And I call that the passion matrix. So we've got this, everyone, and we thank you for joining us and listening to us or with us today. And sharing your love and receiving this gift, this love that we cultivate within, is amplified in our world. So, Deborah, as we say goodbye, I just want to give you one last quick moment for any other message that might come through.
Thank you. Let's see what the guides have to say for everybody today. Okay. Their message is to really keep your eyes looking inward. So all this beauty and all this light and all this love that we talked about today already resides right here. It's all okay. They're saying we got this. You're not alone. You're on your way. And the main reason, one of the main reasons they said to pull your eyes inward, because there's so much going on in the world right now that is chaos. And we're going to feel that chaos within our nervous system. So that's why they're saying, do this, sit down inside. You're not alone. You're safe, loved, and cherished.
Beautiful. And I know that I may not be the only one here who felt something happening before we even showed up in this episode today. You and I spoke briefly last week, and then shortly after that, I was shown the power of that coming in within that periscope down. And I wanted to mention that to you because I find that fascinating. This is where we're really connected. We're understanding how we're all connected and how we're actually feeling ourselves outside of time and space.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we're going to do this together.
And we got this.
We got this.
Well, we are feeling inspired and feeling good. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend, for being here. And thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.